my man Ice Cube started the BIG3 basketball league, and he's found a way to come on this show. Prior, me and Bernard passed away, but now with me, I think 5 of these 8 years. Year number 8 gets going this Saturday. Let's go live to California. Cube, good morning, brother. How are you?
Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yo, how far are you from L.A., from where the riots are going on right now?
Man, I could throw a rock and hit him.
No, really? So, wow.
Yeah, not too far.
So if you look out, I mean, maybe you can't see it from right outside, but I'm sure you pass by it. Give us the real deal. You know, Trump says one thing, Gavin Newsom says another thing. Just give me, we'll get to the basketball, the music, and all that great stuff, but you're there. Give me the bird's eye view from Cube on what L.A. looks like this morning.
Well, you know, it's pretty hot out on the street. You know, emotions are high. There's a lot of fear. And, you know, people are acting out. And, you know, I just think it's an unfortunate situation. But this is L.A., so, you know, it don't take much to spark it out here, really.
No, it doesn't. And one more thing, because I know you want to talk about politics, but listen, the facts are, Cube, since you and I last saw each other, I've gotten very close with President Trump. He even appointed me to his Holocaust Council, which is a huge honor, and he's on this show quite a bit. So we get along great. And there was a time when you guys were getting along. You guys were working together to help out black people. I know that when he first won back 8-9 years ago, and that's all gone badly. So what happened between you and Trump?
Well, it was never a me and Trump. You know, it was, you know, I produced something in 2020 called The Contract with Black America. It was just a basically a bird's eye view of what we thought was the problem and how we could fix it. And, you know, both parties showed interest in that plan. You know, the Democrats were a little flaky, and Trump administration said, yo, let's take a look at it. Do you mind coming in and talking about it? And we did. And then they adapted some of those things in their platinum plan. And, you know, that was the end of that. You know, he didn't get elected, so it never went down.
I got you. That was in between wins. I got it. Okay. So at least there was some talk there in the past, and you guys very nearly ended up working together. Well, let's get to what's going on this Saturday, Cube. You used to come to visit us at Madison Square Garden, me and Bernard. You know, do you know that he passed away?
Yeah, I heard, man. You know, that's terrible. Condolences to all his fans. You guys were great together.
Thank you. And he really did love you. He was so excited when you would come in. And he watched the big basketball, the Big Three, and I do too. I watch it every year. My good buddy Michael Rappaport, he loves it too. And you got 8 teams now in 8 cities for year number 8. 8's a big number for you this morning, Cube. And you got guys like Dwight Howard and Lance Stevenson. These are household NBA names. So a very exciting day for you Saturday, yes?
Man, very exciting. You know, day before my birthday, which is very cool.
Happy birthday.
We're going to be in Chicago. Thank you. We're going to be in Chicago, and, you know, the Big Three is set to have our best season yet. You know, the competition is fierce. It's condensed. We went from 12 teams to 8 because we're planning firmly in cities now. So we're in Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, DMV, which is D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, Houston, Miami, and L.A., and, you know, hopefully soon we'll be in New York. You know,
I was going to say, those are 8. Don't get me wrong, Cube. Those are 8 great cities, 8 of the biggest cosmopolitan cities in America. But what happened to Manhattan or Brooklyn? What happened?
We still want to come to Manhattan and Brooklyn. You know what I mean? We still want to come there. We just got to find the right ownership group that want to, you know, buy a franchise and bring it to New York. So maybe, you know, some guys with a few dollars is listening and they want to have a franchise in the Big Three next year. Come talk to us.
There are a lot of people with a lot of money that do listen. So you will have that opportunity, I think, this morning. I can't make any guarantees, Ice Cube, but there are some big money people listening. They do listen to this show every day. So you got 8 teams. It starts on Saturday. Now, early on, I think you had a contract with Fox, I think. Where exactly can folks watch your games this year?
They can watch them on CBS starting 3 p.m. Eastern. Got 2 games there, and then our last 2 games of the day is on Vice TV. So we got 2 great relationships, and the league is just growing.
How many people, I'm just curious for folks that are not all that familiar. Most of my listeners are sports fans because I did Sports Talk Radio, as you know, Q, for so long, so they're aware of what's going on. But how many people usually show up to these Big 3 basketball games?
We usually have somewhere between 11,000,
wow,
14,000.
Wow.
People love it, and it's great entertainment. You can see the whole league, the entire league. 4 games for the price of 1. So this is unique. There's no other sports league professional where you can see the whole league when you buy a ticket. And
awesome.
So
yeah.
it's, we got entertainment all the way through, performers, dancers, DJs, everything you can imagine to keep people, like having fun throughout the whole day.
Yeah,
great.
I got to imagine the Chicago game. It's your birthday. You're going to be in Chicago talking about entertainment, Cube, at these games. I got to think you're going to do the halftime show, no?
We got a couple of people to do the halftime show, but you never know. You got to come. I always, do something and to surprise the crowd. So, it might be one of those days where I get up there and do my thing.
All right. And, listen, you've got these fans dating all the way back. I'm an old guy now. I'm going to be 60. Not that you're old, Cube. Don't get me wrong. But NWA, that was a couple years ago now, So those NWA. Yeah, but they still love you. So when I heard that Ice Cube is going back on the road for the first time in like a decade, that's a very big deal. When does that start? This summer?
Yeah, this after the summer and the fall, I've been in the game 40 years now.
Wow.
I started in 1985. I wrote my first hit record for Eazy-E called Boys in the Hood. And, I look up and it's 4 decades later, so it's only right for me to do a big show, for me to do a big production, celebrate these 40 years, and really, go out and have fun on the road. Performing is the best part of entertainment to me.
Damn right. And it's, if I would have asked you this 40 years ago, Cube, I mean, if you really think about it, you got a basketball league and, 5-digit people show up every game. You're going to go back on the road, I'm sure fill up every arena. And then if I would have said to you, hey, Cube, you're going to make movies that 30 years later, whether it's Barbershop or Boys in the Hood, or Friday, my favorite of all, because it's Friday, and you want guys to do. If I would have told you that 30 years later, those would be legendary. Like kids my son's age are watching those now. You would have said I was nuts, right?
I would have said, hey, maybe we're doing something right. Maybe, we're giving people a slice of life. Definitely giving people quality movies, and they watch them over and over. To me, that's the measure of a great movie. Not how much money it makes in the box office,
right?
But how many times can you watch it over and over and over and still enjoy it? To me, those are the hits.
I agree. No, there are certain movies I've watched 30 times. All your movies. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, brother. That's true. Goodfellas, I can watch that every day, those types of movies, right? Any of that stuff. Well, listen, man, I'm always happy for your success. I will be at a bunch of your games coming up this season. It all gets underway. By the way, Marla's great. Marla in Harlem, if she's listening right now, Cube, she's terrific. She set this up. Saturday, the Big 3, season number 8 teams. Going to be really exciting. And on the way out, Cube, for folks that want to maybe hop online, find find out more about the league, your concert tour starting in the fall, all that good stuff, what's the best place to go?
You can go to big3.com/tickets if you want tickets, or just go to big3.com for information about the league. And you can go to icecube.com, learn everything about me, learn everything about my tour, and everything I'm doing. It's a great way to keep up with us.
All right, my man. Be careful out there. I know it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning in California yet. So thank you for coming on early. You know, it's always great to talk to you, buddy, and continued success. We'll talk again very soon. Thank you so much.